The stars in the sky are the good human beings of the past, the ones who came here to try to do their best to do good and help others. Some stars are given a little extra in their image and style to help the young ones with a powerful thing called rock and roll. These extraordinary people who have this something can be called back to heaven by God at a moment's notice. It seems to me that God needs good stars out there to help the people down here. So you who read this have a God over you, your own God. Therefore you must do what is right on this earth to what you think. Always help people who are hurt lying on the floor, help them back onto their feet. God bless everybody. How will I ever forget? Elvis Presley, Eddie Cochran, Buddy Holly, Mark Bolan, Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix. My day starts, believe it or not, at 3:30 in the morning. That's the time I get up, you know. It's very dark, very quiet. My life is not very exciting, but that doesn't matter. I've got a life, so I'd say to have a life is more important than have an healthy life, and feel good is better than to be bored and not happy. I get up round about 3:30. I'm ready by 4, 10 to 4. I go out of my house, I catch a bus to Marble Arch. I then take another bus up to Tottenham Court Road, and then I change to another bus, which is either the 38 or the 55. I go to Hackney Empire and I work there till about 10 o'clock. And I've got a little team under me. I'm the manager. I look after their cleaning.
Message to the world. It's rock and roll.
Refuse to let rock and roll go. I don't know why that is. I'm sometimes fighting with myself, thinking, why are you holding it? It's like an electric bulb, and you're holding it. It's alive with everything that the world is all about. And you're holding it, and someone's saying, let that go. You know, you're holding danger. Hold it. Don't let it go. And you're saying, no, fuck off. I'm going to hold it forever. So that's what it's like. You're keeping rock and roll there all the time. I don't know why I do that. It's very easy just to be a grey old-haired old man, get fat and, and forget it all and everything. But I don't know why. Something just inside me makes me hold it. Maybe there's a day coming.
Hey, look out, fellas! Man pressure!
Hello and good afternoon. You're tuning into WMBR in Cambridge. We broadcast from the campus of MIT at 88.1. We are first on your FM dial. Welcome to another Wednesday of Gorilla Got Me, home of the rejects, rebels, and assorted losers of rock and roll. Every Wednesday, 2 to 4 p.m. And opening out the show, as usual, every week, we have the Gorillas here doing Gatecrasher. And speaking of the Gorillas, I have a very, very special show planned for you this afternoon. I have on the phone line, direct from England, the man that is responsible for the opening theme for this song, and a man I talk about probably way too much on the show. He does actually exist. And he's one of my absolute favorite rock and rollers, and we have him on the phone line here right now. And I'm so excited. It's Mr. Jesse Hector right here from England. Hi, Jesse.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hello. Jesse,
nice to speak to you.
Oh man, I am so excited to be talking to you, and I'm so glad that you could join us today.
It's a great pleasure. It's a great excitement for us as well. That that you want to talk to us. We're very pleased. We're very happy about that.
Yeah, it's just I play your music all the time. I tell people about you all the time. I think I've turned on a lot of people to your music here, and I know you're really a bit of a cult legend over in England, and your career has spanned hey, like, what, 40 years coming up now? And
More than that. I started when I was 9 years old. I started skiffling in 1957.
yeah, Lonnie Donegan.
That's it. That was the big thing in London, which was Lonnie Donegan and Elvis Presley. Really, I kind of heard Elvis. I hadn't seen a picture in '56, but I kind of heard Elvis. I heard Lonnie Donegan, and when I saw the picture of Elvis a bit later, that was it. That started me off. I started skiffling with a T-chest bass and a washboard like we did in England, and then I moved into the rock business. But 1959 I was playing the Two Eyes, like with, it was a big thing in England, and it was like where Cliff Richard started and the Shadows, who were #1 English group, you know.
About 62 I heard the Beatles, and that changed everything here. I mean,
Yeah.
I obviously changed overnight. I saw them and they were fantastic. To see that was an experience I'll never forget, you know.
I loved all that mod. I used to go to all them clubs, and it was something about it, Sarah. It was fierce. It was revolution. It was freedom. You know, it was like the Beatles opened the gates of freedom for everybody to have a decent life. The government was and the system over here was trying to press everybody down. You know, you mustn't do this, you mustn't go there, you mustn't have sex, you mustn't go to a nightclub. But then the Beatles come along and said, "Way!" and took over the planet and kicked everything on the side. Said, "Listen, you can do what you like in here. It ain't our place anyway." On stage, and I thought, "Wow, that's rock and roll. That's freedom."
And you know what it's like? It's like Forrest Gump. It's like, oh, he was there, and he was there, and he was there, and he was there, and it all sounds like it can't be true, and yet it is. It's exactly that story.
We were young, too young to fall.
And then later on, it's the same bloke that was in the clique, and all these records that I've loved from all these different areas, and that are all fantastic. And the same geezer's responsible, or you know, at least partially, for all of them, and that's a pretty phenomenal feat, I think.
We did kiss in love, but now we do. We did kiss in love, but now we do. We did kiss in love, but we do now.
That's another record that I've played a lot on the radio. The We Didn't Kiss, We Didn't Love. Just incredible. And one, you know, I suppose any good record that it just sounds like, well, this could have been made last week or next week. Yeah. To do like a phenomenal British rock and roll record, a phenomenal freak beat record, a phenomenal glam rock record, a phenomenal punk record, that's ludicrous.
I remember I used to do a thing around the early 60s, and Mike Raven would be around, and once he made me this incredible tape, and on it was Red Hot, Warren Smith, You Bangy Stomp, and all that stuff like that. It was amazing. He said to me, if you can learn these songs, he said, you'll blow everyone away. So we did learn a few, and at the gig that night we caused a bloody riot.
Yeah, I bet you did. Well, I mean, everyone heard of it, right out there.
The place went mental. They'd never heard these ones. At that time, it had never been known in England where they come from. So we was pretty early in there on the rockabilly stuff, you know. I picked up on Breathless Dan Coffey very early, and I think we were going up to Dan's Rock House in Wales around about 64, 65, them periods, quite early, and Dan had got all this stuff all over the bloody place, and we would just laying on the floor for days and days and days, and fuck, have you heard this one? Have you heard that one? Have you heard this? What's that one? Oh, Jesus, what's that? Cracking records, you know, all from the Sun's studios, and all from people like Sam Phillips had given him the records. I said, Sam Phillips? He said, well, I'll go over there. I said, Jesus Christ, Dan, you know.
Those Sun records, and the fact that people are into rockabilly nowadays is pretty much down to this one man, Breathless Dan Coffey, who in the 60s, late 50s, and I think more the early 60s, would travel over to Sun just to buy Jerry Lee records and that, and would go, oh, what's this Warren Smith, what's this Billy Lee Wright, and bring all these amazing records back. And so all these people were suddenly introduced to these incredible sounds that were never issued over here. And there was a tiny little clique of people who would buy from him. And the fact that Jesse was one of them, that's just even better. Another piece of cool in his little, you know, Fonzie catalogue.
is Lansdowne Studios. We came in here with Larry Page in 1974, who had made the Kinks and the Trogs #1 in England in the charts, and he recorded our version of You Really Got Me, which became quite original sound because it was him who produced it in this studio, Lansdowne. It was a very interesting period for us as the Hammersmith Gorillas.
You really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me now.
Larry was a genius producer, very underrated.
Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't sleep at night. You really got me. You really got me. You really got me.
One DJ took the record off halfway through and said, "Oh, these bum notes for real," which was like unreligious at that time in music because the standard was so high. In the 70s, we'd reached a peak, and unless you were Genesis or Led Zeppelin, you had hardly considered. But we were taking it back to the melting pot. We were changing things. Mainly, we wanted the mods to continue, and I built on the mod image and built on the older the mod fashions, and took a step forward. And that was where punk came from. And I think really the punk generation of people were really built on trying to be what the mods were. It was a space age mod. It was built off the mod image, yeah. So we owe a lot to this Lansdowne studio, you know.
Keep on walking. Keep on walking all the time. Yes, keep on walking all the time. I'm not doing gigs at the moment. I've been offered, but they offered me one of the biggest in England a little while back. That was with Clapton and Paul Weller. I said, yeah, the Royal Albert Hall. I said no to it because they wanted me to do one song. But you know, Sarah, these days I don't do what I don't want to do. If somebody says to me, "Will you play here or will you do this?" and if I look and I think I don't want to do that, then I won't do it now, Sarah.
I'd like to do that song with a great harmony. Hey, the losers gonna win, yeah. Boom. Oh, the losers gonna take, yeah. Oh, that's a fucking soul number. We can't let these go all the time. Got to get back into all that kind of thing, man. It's fucking great energy, isn't it?
That's what it sounds like.
Wish I was fucking 10 years younger, at least, just a few years younger. It's a guitar break. Is that really us? Is that really us? Fucking hell, Caroline, that's amazing. No, I'm alright, I'm playing well. Oh, that's where we... Oh, fucking hell. That was cooking, that last one. Wasn't it a shame it went wrong? See, I suffer from all these equipment things, you know. Oh, Jesus. You happy, Phil, with that sound?
Hello.
Hi, mate.
We should have asked you to pop out about 4:30 to pay the bill.
Okay.
You can do that, so if you
All right,
could,
sure.
when you got a second, yeah?
Okay. We'll be up.
You're sounding horribly familiar.
Say?
So the style of music you play is sounding horribly familiar to me.
We're a bit like the Who, Small Faces, Jimi Hendrix type thing. We're 60, right? I played 60, I came from that era, so we're trying to go that way. Punky,
Yeah.
Jesse used to be a
heavy,
fan.
Black Sabbath,
Jesse
Led Zeppelin.
Hector used to be the Gorillas. You remember the Gorillas
Alright.
in the 70s?
We're trying to go back that way to that
Yeah.
Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin thing. You like all that,
Yeah.
don't you?
Well, I used to be in an old band called Storm, did a lot of stuff around about 60s and 70s. They went back
I think
to
I remember the
dark
name.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, mental. Yeah, that was a bit sort of like bluesy, rocky, moving on to punky rocky towards
Have you heard us play a bit then?
Yeah, well, I can hear you from out there, yeah.
I wish I had the bollocks to go back out. I just haven't got the bollocks to go out and face an audience. You know why? Because of my age. Because I know I look reasonably good, but on stage it's got to be the best in the world. It's got to be everything. It's got to be so people go, oh, you know, that's what I've got to do. And I fucking someday I'm never gonna. I sometimes look in the mirror. I look at myself and I think, can I really be what I was? Can I really be the Hammersmith Gorillas as we was live? I don't think so. But sometimes I think we do get back there a little bit. We catch it. You know, it's just having the bollocks to be able to think that I'm 18 and here we go, we're going to take this fucking planet to be. That's what you know. Sometimes I think I'm dreaming and I'm kidding myself, you know. So while I believe it, we're all right. We don't want to get on cloud 9 and then suddenly a big flop. That's what I don't want to do. This has got to be really good. I think it's got the potential.
But I believe there will be another time, another place. That's all I say. I'm 17. I can't be seen. I'm 17. I'm 17.
I try to eat a little bit more carefully than what I used to, rather than egg, beans and chips, which I still enjoy when I have it. I still have that, so but I eat a lot of seafood. Prawns, cockles, mussels, shrimps, all that stuff, all that food is very, very good for you. It gives you good health. I got a wet fish shop up in Kilburn, and they supply it, they give it to me, you know, I buy it each day. Actually, I think this park has given me great peace of mind from the rock industry, the quietness and all that, you know. I've worked at that job, so 10 years I've been spending the time here. It's been a good day because it's definitely is nice and relaxing. I had many trades, you know. I'd worked on the railway and I'd learned I was going to be an engine driver, and I didn't really like it. Then I became a tailor, dress cutter, marker maker. I went right through the rag trade, but I always lost the jobs because of the music, going back out on the road. So the cleaning fitted wonderfully because you could clean early in the morning and then you got all day for yourself, was one good thing. Another thing with cleaning is no one really takes that much notice if you're not there all the time in those days. So it would give you time to do the music.
It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. When I don't know, I got myself a job. I don't want to work for just a few bucks. Gotta keep slaving just for you. I know it's something I don't want to do.
But the Crush Butler thing was totally ahead of its time. As for punk, I think we were doing that music before anybody else in England was doing it, and I think that record is a show of its era, isn't it?
It's my life. It's my life. It's my life. It's my life.
I thought like the Gorillas were just so perfectly placed because the punks loved them because of the energy, and Jesse's stage show, which was just remarkable, and. Even though the image was all this kind of glam threads and stuff, you know, the punks were going around with sort of safety pins in their jackets and kind of slightly spiky hair, and there's this lot with the big sideburns and the whole deal, you know. But yet, punk it didn't just happen year zero. I mean, the punks were going to the Gorillas gigs and loving it. All the punk bands all went because they were blown away because, like, you know, they were new to the game.
Gorillas, stop.
But I think you were precursors of punk because you had the edginess that punk had.
Yeah.
I mean, you look back at Film with Small Faces now. I mean, it was raucous, but it wasn't edgy. You guys were edgy. You had this kind of like, just this sort of, there was a bit of danger, there was a bit of threat.
Aggression,
It was that, look, there it is, you know, the disc thing. This is just before we were with you. This is very early. It's June 15th, 1974.
Yeah.
What we're about is violence. You know? It was Montemar song was
Yeah,
first.
that was the
Montemar
first
song
gig,
we
yeah.
did. That was the first big one, which was remarkable. It's funny, it was years later that Jesse gave me the back end of the story, because what happened, we arrived there and the guy promoting it was physically being carried out of his head. And we arrived there and realised that he was just going to put the next band he could get his hands on that stage. And Ted's great. Ted suddenly twigged that if there weren't 3 gorillas around, he couldn't put the gorillas on. So he just said to Jesse, "Fuck off, disappear, go on, go away, get lost." Anyway, and years later I remember sitting talking to Jesse, what happened, where did you go? And you'd said, what did you do?
I found a little French church. It was an amazing place, right on the edge of that Montemar sound. And it was fascinating me as I walked in there, and it was like nothing like the English churches, nothing. And it had this really old ladies all like covered in all sorts of, and I walked in with my colours on, everyone it was amazing. And I just stayed there and sat there and listened to it, and I couldn't understand a word they were saying or anything. But I just stayed there for about 2 hours, like really got into the vibe of it.
Then you drifted back, and obviously it must have been inspired by the church or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden Jesse comes on, boom, the kind of whole thing with the guitar and the hello, and the audience got up and started moving towards the front of the stage. And in the distance there was this amazing flash of lightning, way in the distance.
And I looked around at the boys, and Alan's hair was on end.
And it was just like, that was it. The evening started. Alan was just the sweetest man.
Smashing man.
He really was. He was just, nothing would faze Alan. He was one of those guys.
He's one of those guys, he lived on a bubble.
I know, you just, anything at all, no problem.
Nothing.
He drove the van everywhere.
Oh, what? Yeah. If it broke down,
he'd set the gear up.
If it broke down or his guitar broken off, didn't matter. We'd get something going. I'll string it up with my bootlaces.
He was the most unflappable human being I think I ever met.
That's
so sad. His death.
I met Alan in the cutting and the marker making trade, which was dress cutting, suit making. It was in the really the rag trade, is what they called it at the time. And then we found Gary on a gig in up at the Itchin Ballroom. What was that called? The Itchin Ballroom in Itchin, in a town outside near Hatfield, and it was where we formed the Hammersmith Gorillas.
When the evening shadows fall. Don't know who to call. Darling, here, pick up the old phone. Darling, oi, I'm all alone. Wait for you.
I think about 1981, he'd bought an horse, and the horse, he was out in Dunstable, that area, with an horse club. I don't know exactly what happened, I wasn't there or anything, and he was riding the horse, and I think the horse threw him. That's as much as the police had said to us, the horse had thrown him and kicked him, and that was the last I ever saw of him, But he was very interested in the horses and the country life, and he ended up buying an horse, and that's the way it all went for him.
See you, darling, I don't want to go. Meet you down the road in the bar. Worry, darling, here, I ain't got far to go. I want to be going on with me like this. Oh, yeah! Game. In a minute we're going to do some stomping. We want to see you stomp with us, alright? Lovely one, you're great. Yeah, this is going to start building.
Don't want to go too much into the political view of it all, but we had decided that we wanted to make albums. I mean, Chiswick was a small label, and they didn't have a lot of money. They were building up and trying to get going.
Let's be fair, you quit.
Yeah, but we did go on.
You retired.
Yeah, but we did go on with Raw, didn't we? To make.
Well, I know, but I mean, there was a gap in there. You kind of like we were setting up the next single with you and everything. You definitely did a runner at that point.
We moved on. Okay, fair enough. We moved into Raw and cut the album, and the next single was done and produced by a BBC producer who actually done the job the way we thought it had to be done, and it flopped. So never can tell what's a hit record, never. So it was a
Well,
funny.
I think there was some momentum lost between the time you moved away from us and moved on to Raw.
Possibly.
Because we did have all this press, we had all this stuff going for us, you know.
Yeah.
And it really was, we really needed to follow in a few months with a single, like at that point. We were
It all seems to point the finger at me as not coming through, so from there, that's as far as we get to.
Waiting for you. Here, darling, coming down the road with us. Waiting for you.
Well, I'll have to ask Daddy.
Waiting for you.
Oh, you ain't gonna ask you, old man.
Waiting for you.
Oh, no, I couldn't.
Here, she's blown you out again, Jess. I'm going for pictures. What are you doing? I'm not waiting for you. Oh, he's a right one, this guy's I'll meet you in there. I'll tell you what, I did 2 swords. Go on, what do you reckon?
She's a fun like a note, talking free flowing, sun glowing. I gotta tell ya, she's all my girl.
First time I came to London, I bought a Gorillas record.
Oh, that's
at Rough Trade.
So that was.
But I didn't know you then.
No, what year was that then, girl? Was that 76, 77?
Yeah.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not bad. We're all still young as well.
Well, you used to play at my club, but it was way before that.
Wasn't that Moritz? Moritz in Water Street?
Yeah, Modern Vegas, and that was...
That's in the 90s, early.
Yeah, that started in 93.
Yeah.
So I saw you way before that.
Yeah. Did you see us before that?
Yeah. So probably the early 90s.
Was Jesse doing his cartwheels then?
Yes, he was very lively.
It's nice to know, you know. That's great. And to buy all this in the 50s. Fantastic, isn't it? Oh, that was at the State Kilburn. We were in amongst several bands, and for some odd reason, we won the contest for bad behaviour. What happened was, most of the bands in them times, in 62 or 63, were very much, you did not step out of line, you didn't say the wrong things, and it was a time when there was real discipline, and you didn't go off on one or anything. But I always was against the bands. They wanted to wear dicky bow ties and be smart. Well, they even resented my way there, like smart white shirts. Well, that's deep red, and and mine was a gold cravat. I wouldn't go on with. I said, I'm not fucking doing that. I've got a gold belt on there as well. And they said, put your hair a bit more. I said, no. I said, I'm keeping it out quiffed and all that. And I did. And on the stage that night, a funny thing happened, because we got on the stage, and all of a sudden they hadn't plugged me in, and you know the nerves and the attention, and we were very young, you know. I said, hang on, and the mic was on, I didn't realise, and all the judges were sitting around, it was packed out too. So I told him, I said, hang on, I said, I ain't fucking in. I said, hold on, Jay, you prat. I said, so I started, and the place started to roll up laughing, and the Cockney accent and all that, we all just amazed, they all dropped their faces, and everyone was laughing. I said, you mad cunt, and I threw the guitar, I'd take the audience, you fat ass. I said, get up here and do a bit of dance with us and all that, and the place went mental. And the judges all sat there and went, number one, we blew everything away. And it was great for me because I think the character came across there. I was brought up very rough and ready. Yeah, I was playing the tours when I was 9 or 10, so I was very much a stage man. I was always an actual on stage. I played the skiffle band with the washboard and the double bass with the tea chest and the broom handle. Boom, boom, boom. We done all the pubs, so I used to have a massive following on the pubs. I remember when I got my first guitar, I got it very cheaply. I had a load of Roy Rogers books and a load of comics and things like that we all used to collect as kids. And I swapped my mate the comics and the Roy Rogers books for the guitar, and their father wasn't too happy about it. It was his guitar and belonged to their band. But he never took it back, and I kept the guitar, and I must have earned loads of money with it because I used to come home with more money than my mum and dad earned, you know. So we had loads of money in the house through me skiffling. Sometimes £15, sometimes 20 quid. You know, we only earned about £3 or £4 at that time, you know.
I'm in love with you, girl, and you better be in love with me. I keep on saying that, but you say you just wanna stay free. You're on my mind and I just gotta tell you so. So don't push me, you know I won't go. New York Groover, take me to your dad.
played. I like them. Oh, Stompers, they used to say. They can stomp it out. They were great. They won the war with... They won the war.
That's good, isn't it? I like that.
Well, what I mean by that, they won the war, what they were fighting for, which was like they were fighting against the hippie movement of everybody being too musical. Very good.
You heard a bit of that Buddy Holder thing going on, you the top shout.
Yeah, well, we were in before them a little bit. We were a little bit before them actually with that.
Maybe they clocked you.
I don't know. I wouldn't know. You can't be dead sure. There's nothing, but the wind is a spirit. You've never seen it, you only feel it, but the wind could destroy this planet in 1 second. Now that's power.
I was talking this morning to a friend of mine. You don't get a warning when you're going to die. You don't take nothing when you're gonna leave here. So why do you people keep living in fear? It's a big bad world that will drive you insane. All I do is ride my brain. What have I got and what can I gain? All I wanna say, it will stay the same.
I remember you doing somersaults on the stage while you were playing your guitar. But what struck me was you continued playing the guitar while you were doing the somersaults. Nothing stopped.
That's it, yeah.
I couldn't believe this. I thought, Jesus, this guy's amazing. You never stopped moving though.
No, that's one part of my craft. We had a man over here by the name of Edgar Broughton. Ever heard of him? Edgar Broughton Band? Out Demons Out, that's the government he's talking about. He was great on stage. He was a real rebel. You'd have loved him, Sarah. They were an amazing band, 3-piece, and they were right. And anyway, he had this growl. He's going, you know, sing like that. And I thought that's good. And I put some of that with the Marriott Soul and mixed it and blended it all in with a bit of the Johnny Burnett and Eddie Cochran, and it all worked into a bit of original voice I've got.
Rolling down, we're rolling towards the town.
This is amazing, you know, because it's really got the old 50s original stuff here. It's quite stunning to see that mic. That's an old Shure. We used to use that in 1959 at the Two Eyes and some of the gigs we played in that place.
The Beatles mic there. Oh, is it?
Good, right?
So what's your background then? Are you
I started in the 50s. Yeah, I started in
the
the 50s at the Two Eyes. And,
Cliff Richard.
Cliff Richard in the Shadows. You know. I remember queuing all night to get me Cuban Hills. That was a fantastic era,
Do you remember
wasn't it?
Kings Road?
I do, yeah. Chelsea?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Up and down.
Yeah.
All the fashion there.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd see an odd stone beetle hanging around.
Yeah. In that 60s period, just through that few years, the total youth, the total freedom was there, wasn't there? Sometimes on the coast I saw 10,000 mods and about 300 police. And do you know what? They would have never poll taxed or council taxed that generation. They wouldn't have done it. It wouldn't have tolerated it at that time.
Well, give me the Beatles, man.
Give me the Beatles. And if I could take a time machine and go back in time, I'll stay there and never come forward.
That ambience takes me back, which is nice. I could let you and sleep here. Never mind the selling.
This is the great Albert Hall.
They say this is the biggest gig in England and one of the best. Maybe it is. They offered me to play here and I said no to it. The reason for that is they wanted me to do one song. I didn't really want to do one song. I felt like I couldn't really get myself across properly with one song. But it was a big name thing. I mean, Paul Weller, Eric Clapton, Peter Townsend, a lot of big names on the bill, and it was a very, very good gig to be on. But I felt that it wouldn't be right for me if I couldn't do my act the way I want to do it, so I said no to it. But sometimes I think, well, you know, you only get that chance once in a lifetime, and maybe that might have been the wrong move, but it seemed to be the right thing at that time. I work up there at the Geographical Society on that part there, and it's a nice place. I've been there for 10 years and I like it, and it's the work I like doing. I do cleaning and things that I've always done for a living, so it works very well for me. I'm very happy with that, you know. I'm on my way to work now, so I'm going to wish you all good luck. Okay, so I'm going to say bye. Thank you, see you later. All right, see ya.
Goodbye, baby, won't see you no more. Goodbye, baby, I'm slamming the door. 'Cause there's a light in my eye. I think it's time I said goodbye. Goodbye, baby, I'm leaving today. Goodbye, baby, I'm going away. I've had enough of all your lies. You're wicked.
Got it written down now. Spread Eagle Parkway, Camden Town. You come there about 7 o'clock in the evening. We'll all be there. My friends will be there, and I'll buy you a drink. And I'll tell you what, I don't buy anybody a drink. Yours will be the first drink that you get that I've ever bought.